This weekend, Barack Obama met with members of the Iraqi government to discuss his plan for troop withdrawal, but how it went is open to interpretation. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki was quoted in a German newspaper saying he's strongly in favor of the 16-month timetable. A statement released by his spokesman today said the Prime Minister's comments were lost in translation. And joining us now is Pennsylvania Congressman and Barack Obama surrogate Joe Sestak. Congressman, welcome to the show. Good to have you with us.
It's good to be aboard.
What also happened, by the way, was that the White House objected to what Maliki said. The U.S. Embassy calls the Iraqi government, says, hey, we're not so pleased about that. Then they blame the translator, who was Maliki's translator. It wasn't the translator of Der Spiegel, the magazine that originally published it.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's interesting. Just as Senator Obama is headed over there, four things have happened. First, we've seen John McCain move closer to his position on Afghanistan. Second, we've seen the president, as was earlier stated, looking at a general horizon of time for departure. Third, we've seen Maliki, his own interpreter, say 16 months. And fourth, President Bush has sent William Burns over to Geneva to talk about, you know, four things have happened. All what Senator Obama has said needs to happen.
It's amazing. It seems like the Bush administration is following the Obama playbook. Also, John McCain, who keeps touting and his supporters tout foreign policy as a strong point 3 times in the last couple of months, including last week, mentions Czechoslovakia, which hasn't been a country since 1993. He also talked about today the border between Iraq and Pakistan, one that doesn't exist. So, yet this is supposed to be a strong suit.
You know, the biggest thing that we can say for Senator Obama is, boy, is his judgment right. I'm a former Navy admiral. I used to command and carry a battle group in combat both in Iraq and Afghanistan. But what I know is what Senator Obama has stated, that Iraq cannot be looked at solely as determining America's overall national security. He has wisely pointed out the consequences of our strategy in Iraq. You know, today we've got 28,000 troops sitting in South Korea. Not one brigade can protect them, because not one brigade can deploy anywhere in the world because we're not ready. And the statement that most concerned me was General Hayden's, head of the CIA, when he says al-Qaeda has a safe haven from the largest superpower in the world in the porous areas between Afghanistan and Pakistan. So while John McCain looks at Iraq as maybe determining America's overall security, this Senator Obama, who will be a great commander-in-chief, states, wait a moment. If the strategy is hurting America's overall fabric of national security, change the strategy so we can enhance America's overall security.
It's Sean Hannity. Maybe you could explain something to our audience here, because up until last Sunday on Barack Obama's website, it said the surge is not working. In anticipation of his trip to Iraq, it changed to the improved security situation in Iraq. Does that just echo my belief that he hadn't been there 900 and some odd days, that this is just a photo op for him?
No, it doesn't. And look, I don't know anything about the website, but I do know this. Senator Obama has said that there's no way that adding 25 to 30,000 more troops isn't going to help some security. But the surge hasn't worked,
He
Sean.
actually said, that's not what he said in the beginning, sir. We actually have the quotes from when he opposed the surge. He said it can't possibly work. He said it repeatedly and often, and we laid it out for our audience. He did not say it would work. And he said it would fail. He was wrong.
No, he's not, Sean. I've said it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Think about this.
No, well, then he's saying now it is working. He says it's an improved security situation in Iraq. What is it?
No, what he says is it hasn't worked in terms of its goals. Political accommodation. Think about this. Remember the re-Baathification law that was passed by the Parliament? Yay, this is a real victory. Do you know they haven't at all implemented it? They don't even have a commission to do it. In fact, the Sunnis aren't going to be allowed in the Defense Department and the Interior Department.
So defeat is acceptable. All right, let me ask you this question.
No, Sean, let me correct just one thing if you don't mind. What he's saying is, remember Northern Ireland, where the political leaders of Ian Paisley and Gerry Adams had a political accommodation and then the militia stood down? What he's saying is the military cannot give you, with its security, political accommodation. It hasn't.
Listen,
so
I have a lot of respect for Barack Obama, the community organizer who thinks Iran's a tiny country, not a serious threat. Those are his words. Here's my question to you, though.
Please.
Because he was actually, I thought he made the right position. He hadn't been to Iraq in, 3 years, and he said he would be willing to revise his position, listen to the commanders on the ground, then he was excoriated by his left-wing support, and then he changed back to his original position, regardless of what they say. They're going to pull the troops out. So that tells me that the only reason he went to Iraq was for a photo opportunity for himself. He doesn't have an open mind.
No, Sean. Sean, he hasn't stated his changed position at all about 16 months redeploying Iraq. What he has said he wants to define is the tactical situation. Sean, as you probably know, there's only one road out of Iraq. I rode Tampa to Kuwait. There's 68 forward operating bases there. Sean, how many did close at one time in order to do that safely?
Right,
there's 2 stations in order to get the troops out of there. How many more do we need to do it safely? That's what he's refining.
I think if he was honest, the community organizer would allow the professionals on the ground to give their assessment and then make the proper decision based on what they say. He went in there with a predetermined position.
Correct, Sean. The assessment for Iraq security, but no commander, military commander, should ever get the assessment for America's overall national security.
Gotta run.
That's
Thank
what
you,
a good commander-in-chief does. Thanks, Sean.
And coming up, Dr. James Dobson. Will he or will he